everyone, it's Nicole for Simon Says Stamp, and welcome to the January 2023 edition of Making the Cut. Making the Cut is my monthly series here on Simon Says Stamp where we talk about all things die cutting. This month we are going to do a super simple but really awesome technique where we're going to create subway art out of dies. So I gathered up a bunch of my favorite Simon Says Stamp and a couple of other dies that are love and Valentine's themed, and we're going to create subway art. I wanted to start by creating an interesting background. This is going to be very text heavy, and when I have something like that, I love a subtle background. I'm going to create my own pattern paper with this gorgeous reverse crackle background stamp from Simon Says Stamp and the flannel positively saturated ink. As this ink dries and absorbs into the cardstock, which I did stamp on 110-pound weight Neenah cardstock, it will lighten. So here you can see that it's lightened a little bit, but you still get that awesome crackle effect. I want to walk you through all of the die cutting, which I did do off camera, and show you what dies exactly I used. First, I am going to stamp some greetings from the new Simon Says Stamp Love You Greetings stamp set. And I have picked about 4 different greetings from this stamp set, and I am going to kind of position them in some open spots on my background. Now, I did do my die cutting off camera because it was a lot of die cutting, and I wanted to make sure that I kind of had all the parts and pieces that would fit together to show you the technique. And you could do this really for any season or occasion, gathering up all those dies that you have in your stash and using them in really fun and interesting ways. And there are some open spots, and I thought this is the perfect spot to add some stamped greetings. So I have gone ahead and positioned 4 of those greetings, as I mentioned, from the Love You Greetings stamp set. And I'm going to stamp these with some of the charcoal positively saturated ink. You could choose any color of ink you want here. For me, I wanted something that would kind of blend into the background. It's part of the trio that the flannel ink that we used for the background comes in, and it's not a harsh black. It's still a nice dark gray though, so it's very easy to read. I did use the Misty so that I could go ahead and stamp them more than once if I needed to, which I did need to. And I did stamp it before adhering anything in case I messed up. I didn't want to have to re-die cut everything. So if you're wondering why I went ahead and stamped that first, that's why. I thought if I mess up, I can always restamp a background easily. Let's walk through what I'm going to be using. This is the Heart Arrow from Simon Says Stamp, which I believe is on sale right now, at least at the time of filming. The Love Outline, this beautiful heart shadow, and I very much picked different styles of text. So here's the Trio of Love, which I used all 3 of those. This beautiful Hugs die. And again, there's lots of different hugs from Simon Says Stamp, but you can mix and match, and I picked the one that worked with my design. The geometric builder hearts worked really well for this. I could use a few of the designs. I didn't want to do a ton of the geometric hearts, but I liked being able to incorporate hearts into my subway art. And then I wanted my large heart to have wings, and the Hero Arts Lifestyle Cherub set has some wings because you can build a cherub, but you can also add those wings to anything. So we're going to put wings on our heart, and then it has that teeny tiny arrow as well, which I thought worked perfectly with my design. So I used that from the Lifestyle Cherub set as well. Now, starting just in one area, I already laid everything out. I knew kind of what was going to fit. I'm going to start gluing things down. I am using liquid glue. You could always put some adhesive on the back of your cardstock before die cutting it if you want to. Whatever your preferred method is there. I tend to like to use the liquid glue, so that's what I'm going to do. Tweezers are your best friend. And if you're wondering, you can see some texture in especially in the text or the larger heart images. In the cardstock, I am using Lawn Fawn textured cardstock. I like that little added touch of texture that comes on this particular cardstock, it adds just a little something to the design. I'm going to just slowly then build up and out. Now, one of the things that I feel like is very beneficial when you're doing something like this, like you want to make your own subway art background, different styles and sizes of text matter. So the Trio of Love is a pretty small size, which is fantastic because a lot of the other dies are much larger. So the Outline Love is a little bit bigger. So I've got the Outline Love and the Hugs are both pretty big. So I tried to make everything else a little bit smaller. The Heart Shadow is a nice cursive. So that adds visual interest. The Hugs is bigger than the other text. There are also lots of other Hugs sentiments you might already have in your stash from Simon Says Stamp. There's a cursive one I know, depending on what other images you use or the size of the background. I am doing an A2 size background, but maybe you want to do a 5x7 subway art, which is going to give you much more real estate to work with. A slimline style would be awesome as well. You just need to kind of manipulate and move those things around. And then you'll notice when we get to the end, I am going to add a few extra filler hearts and a little filler arrow. Generally, that's kind of how I feel like creation and making it goes. You start with your idea and then you can always take away or add as needed. And this was one of those that I felt like, and you'll see it in the upper left corner with the heart with wings, there was a couple of little open spaces that really could use a little something, and adding an extra arrow and a couple of extra hearts really just give that finished design. Now, I also think you could do this in lots of different colors. I had considered pulling in like some aqua or a mint color. I really like aqua with pinks and reds for Valentine's Day. However, my go-to whenever I am not sure that an extra color is going to maybe throw the whole thing off, my go-to tends to be monochromatic. So definitely just anything in the pink and red spectrum I knew was going to look really great together, and it looks beautiful against the light gray of that crackle background. And I think it really does give you the Valentine's vibe that I was going for. I love these little hearts too. Something else to keep in mind. You probably have lots of hearts dies in your stash. What I did when picking hearts for this card was I tried to find, I call this the chubby heart. There's like the folk, the folk heart, which is a little bit more maybe long and skinny. There's more of like the traditional heart. This one is really, really rounded. So I call this the chubby or chunky heart. And I felt like the heart arrow, which is what I centered most of this design around to be really transparent. It's sometimes so funny what will jumpstart an idea. But I felt like that style of heart, I wanted to be consistent throughout the design. And so I picked that geometric builder heart set and I stuck with it. I think the nesting hearts from Simon Says Stamp would be another good one. I call that one a little more traditional, but if you have that, I think it would work really, really nice with the heart arrow. So definitely keep that in mind. And the smallest hearts in that set would work really nice. I really love this cursive word heart. I think just looks fantastic with the very graphic and feel of the rest of the text. We've got some serif, some sans serif, different, die cut sentiments. It's really fun. It's just a great way to utilize dies in a way that you may not normally. For most cards, you're probably going to pick one of these die cut sentiments and maybe a stamped sentiment, and that's it. This is obviously a very text heavy design. The text is the embellishment on this design. And I hope it just gets you thinking about different and fun ways to take dies that you have and utilize them in a different way. You could do this with, I know let's say some winter dies or Christmas dies or Halloween dies. I mean, anything in your stash, you guys, I think would be so fun to create a whole set of Subway art. It just would be really, really cool. And it's got such a graphic, clean look to it, but yet very, very fun. Okay, we're going to get to this heart, and this is one of the Geometric Builder hearts, and I love it. I'm going to glue it down, but I immediately want to glue down these wings because I kind of have to make them work. These are from the Lifestyle Cherub set from Hero Arts, and so yes, they're made to work with building a cherub, but they look really great coming out from behind this heart. But so I want to make sure and get them tucked under right away before my glue dries. And then I'm going to layer in the rest of the pieces. And I felt that my heart in the center laid best if I popped it up a little. So I am going to use an extra heart there that's inlaid into the design. And then I'm going to layer the little teeny tiny arrow. This is also from the Lifestyle Cherub set, right across the center. And that to me just elevated this again. And then I'm going to put more glue on top and finish with a heart on top. And I like that. We're just going to use an acrylic block to help hold that flat. But see the area right underneath the wings? I feel like it's just a little open. So we are going to add an extra arrow. Again, that's from the Hero Arts Lifestyle arrow. I like that in the open spot. It kind of just works with the whole theme anyway. And then we're going to add a couple more hearts right here on the right side. And there is our background. So that is basically it. You could add glossy accents or crystal lacquer to some of the hearts if you wanted to, or Nuvo crystal drops and White Blizzard would be another one that I'd love. You could even add some rhinestones or gemstones or pearls or heart accents. I decided to keep mine very, very basic, and it's just cardstock and paper and stamps. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for this Valentine Subway art. The supplies are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube for your convenience. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Hi there, I'm Heidi, Simon's mama and founder at simonsaysstamp.com. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you like what you just saw, be sure to press the thumbs up and subscribe to see more great content.